So I decided to see what the wrestling world would look like if the big three, WWF, WCW, and ECW, just randomly went out of business in the prime of their basically all three companies, 1998. It is now 2011. I just simmed as far as my computer would let me until I decided I needed to record a video. So we're going to see in this amount of time what the landscape looks like. Obviously, we're here at the January 2011, so the end of 2010, and Jushin Thunder Liger is the wrestler of the year. So we're going to start looking at that, wrestler of the years. So it looks like from 1998, the beginning, to 2010, it's pretty much always been Japan dominating. And I think we're going to see that with, looks like Tag Team of the Year. This one's an interesting one that we'll have to go look at. El Hijo, my Mexican's gonna be great. El Hijo del Santano and Rocky Maivia. That's interesting. We got Mick Foley and Owen Hart. So obviously there's still some American names popping up, but you can tell, obviously, with the lack of American companies, it definitely fell off. I see Kenny Omega got Young Wrestler of the Year 3 years in a row. And then we got, of course, Jay Briscoe. Female of the Year, pretty much. I'm sorry, I don't know any of these people. Lady Apache, I know the name, but Company of the Year. Now, this one has been interesting. So, 1998 through 2001, it was New Japan. And then we have CMLL, Noah. I think that's... Yeah, Josie Perosu. I was on blank there. And then Noah. Now, something I did notice when I went back through... Well, of course, let's look at these, just kind of scroll through them. But something I did notice is New Japan's not here. Which I found very interesting because I thought New Japan would thrive in this setting. But it did not. So let's go inactive. We'll start looking at if I can find a New Japan. So New Japan went out of business in on week 1 of January 2002. Now I wonder if that's because I was going to say because of, high name people, but there's really not anyone signing too much. I guess let's go back to the beginning here. Vader. In terms of big name people, there's really not anybody. So I found that very, very interesting. Sid. Oh, we got Rocky here, but I don't know how expensive he would have been right away in 1999. And Davey Boy Smith. So that's interesting. Another company, WXW, didn't last very long. Looks like it ended in 2002. WAW, 1999. And then another big one is WWC, which also went out of business in 2002. War, 1998, didn't last very long at all. All Japan was a massive one too. 2001. So that's really interesting. Maybe, I guess, just the popularity of wrestling fell off because of that, because of the big companies, disappearing. I don't know, but I found that very, very interesting. So now I want to let's look at the company wars. So we see CMLL is the top one. Let's see if there's any well-known people. Let's look at the title picture. And yeah, my knowledge of Japanese and Mexican wrestling is very little. So this is mainly going to be about the American companies. So Jersey All Pro Wrestling is at the top right now, which is booked by Eric Bischoff, and it looks like the key personnel is The Rock, Jeff Jarrett, Sid Vicious, Devin Storm, and Supernova. So, looks like Jay Briscoe's having a singles career, as we saw with his Wrestler of the Year. So, this is pretty interesting. Steve Austin looks like he was, if not here, now here at one point. Ken Shamrock won the belt. Owen Hart, The Rock, Jeff Jarrett. This one looks pretty tame. Jeff Hardy won the belt. Interesting. So NWA New Jersey, also very high up there. And see, something too that I've noticed is the money on these guys is incredible for being just indie companies. I mean, $27 million. That's crazy. Also, I saw in the news, is the Undertaker there? Doesn't look like he's here. Let's go look at. I mean, let me go through these companies, and I'll look at specific people. NWA New Jersey doesn't look like it's got massive names. I mean, it's got. I mean, yeah, Mike Quackenbush is apparently the most popular guy in the company. Johnny Ace is the booker. But I mean, $11 million too. Fatu is their champion, and Brian Christopher is their lightweight champion. It's like Shaggy 2 Dope has also won the belt. Alright, ECWA. This one was one that I would stop simming every once in a while and keep an eye on what was going on to know what to talk about. And this one was pretty interesting because, as you can see here, $39 million. Vince McMahon is the booker. And I mean, look at this. This is like the new, like, WWF, WCW combined. You got Bill Goldberg, Cactus Jack, Eddie, Edge, even Joe Briscoe. JBL, Kevin Nash. We got Mark Briscoe here. Owen Hart, Ricky Steamboat, Sting. The Undertaker's here. He's got the AWF Championship. Is that the championship in ECWA? What's their title situation looking like? What on the earth? Why does it say he has the AWF belt? What company owns the AWF belt? Okay, let's go back. Let's go look at the Undertaker. Clicking all the wrong buttons. Okay, so he has the AWF Championship. Which that doesn't make any sense. Is that an alliance, maybe? Aha, I found. Yeah, it's an alliance. Okay. I'm at the East Coast Wrestling Association and Jersey All Pro Wrestling. That's cool that they. It looks like they have found. They started alliances like this one here too. Okay, and I guess let's look at Halls of Fame. So let's look. I don't know. I guess NWA New Jersey, Dan Severn and King Kong Bundy. NWA Southwest, Steve DeSalvo, Gary Hart and Jersey All Pro. Owen Hart is an ECWA 7-time champion. Kevin Nash, 2-time champion, and the Mid Atlantic. No one else too well known. One Man Gang is NWA Anarchy. 4-time NWA Anarchy heavyweight champion. That's crazy. XPW, Jim Duggan and One Man Gang. So it looks like we have PWGs here. It's pretty basic roster, but we still have people like Brian Adams is here, so it's like all over. Just you got those guys sprinkled in every once in a while. Ring of Honor. Looks like we have Mike Bucci, and I saw Rey Mysterio's name, but I guess he's not all the way up there. Kurt Angle is the Ring of Honor champion. And he's also the tag team champion with Wolfie D. How's XPW doing? Oh, XPW is looking interesting too. Triple H. He's not the champion. Ken Shamrock's been the champion 2 times. Oh, Triple H was the 1-time champion. One Man Gang really dominating XPW. And the Undertaker's a 2-time champion. Jim Duggan was the first one. Heartland Wrestling Alliance Association, sorry. Again, this one's looking pretty basic. By Two Cold Scorpios, the cruiserweight. It's like Rob Van Dam held the title a couple of times, 3 times actually. And then the heavyweights held by Bill DeMott, Scott Steiner, Raven, Bobby Fulton, Dustin Rhodes, D'Lo Brown. Oh, but that was beforehand. All right, that's looking interesting. Evolve is around now. Anyone too bad to what am I trying to say? Anyone of note, I guess. Stevie Richards is here. Beth Phoenix. He's the champion. He's been the champion for 9 days. So this one I think is pretty new. Yeah, 2010. Okay, now let's look at the most popular. Now this one's interesting. So the most popular person in the world is Ronnie Jonah, and she, as you can see, not very popular. I mean, in terms of like what it would be with the WWF. So you can definitely tell that wrestling has fallen off quite a bit, but still the American people are pretty high up there. Frankie the Mobster's an interesting guy too, because he hasn't. I mean, he's not the name of a lot of the other people you'd expect to be here. He's also looks like he's doing movies. Same with Ronnie Jonah. I think she's an actor. Yeah, she's filming for 10 weeks. 10 months, actually. And then we got Roddy Piper. He's not wrestling though, is he? He is still wrestling. Interesting. He's still wrestling, yeah. Last match was this year in 2010. And Brock definitely, I think he definitely suffered from this scenario. Because I think 1998, that was like this, like right at the beginning of him like skyrocketing, and now I think because of the lack of exposure, he really fell off. I mean, he's been wrestling for 15 years, 74, 75, 76 rating, popularity. Hulk Hogan's still kicking in 2011. He's the NWA Florida Heavyweight Champion. How did he do in the beginning? Okay, yeah, he's pretty much had the same match ever since. Something that was interesting too, because a lot of these people are like really popular, so with the game they're going to be like, I don't want to sign for you because you're too small. So a lot of these guys went unsigned. But I do find it interesting that companies grew to be big enough to sign them, and they fell off enough to sign them too. Looks like he's popular in England. Big Show. Yeah, Big Show. Because he went to NWA UK. And he's been wrestling in Canada. Interesting. That's something I thought I would see a little bit more of, like the big, like, Japanese or Mexican companies. For these big names to go to. But they really didn't. They kind of stayed in America, North America. Undertaker, I mean, not Undertaker. Big Show's kind of that exception because you can see he's been in BCW for a long time. He went to, he started in America, looks like, but and in Canada. So yeah, he's been in Canada for a long time. Yeah, ECWA, I guess, is the one exception with people from other countries. A Big Show, looks like he's a Canada boy now. Like every once in a while, he have like the IWA Mid South, but mostly in Canada. And we got Kane. He's an NWA Tag Team Champion right now. Oh, another company was APW. Are they still around? They are. Yeah, they grew up pretty high too. Pretty basic champions. Mark Henry, the internet champion. Okay. And yeah, you can see in the Power 500s, it's a lot of non-American wrestlers. Jushin Thunder Liger definitely thrived. I did look. I'm not sure if I looked at the Wrestler of the Year. Oh yeah, so he's kind of the star of the save. He definitely benefited quite a bit from all that. It helps if I, stop clicking random buttons. Interesting. Rey Mysterio, Independent Wrestler of the Year. In Ring of Honor. Let me see if I can. So he actually won in 2007 and 2010. It's interesting because what qualifies you as an independent wrestler? I guess at this point, if you're not in a major Japanese or Mexican company. But that's going to do it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.